Then there's another group of Americans that think that we used to have a democracy, but the governments of recent times took it away from us. You've never had a democracy. Let me tell you why you've never had a democracy. And let me tell you what I think a true democracy would be. Our president would get up and criticize another country for an hour or an hour and a half. When he's through, we would invite the prime minister of that country on the air to give his side of the view. You know, if you're accused of anything today, you have the right to face your accuser in court. So whenever you criticize another nation, invite them on, give their point of view. Then invite the Prime Minister of Sweden, because they're both full of shit. This is how I see it. This is what I'm talking about. In a democracy, people say, well, at least I'll participate. It's a participatory democracy that I believe in. So I always get those people all the time, and I say, do you believe in a participatory democracy? Yes, I do. Did you vote for the space program? Well, I guess not. Did you vote for the Vietnam War? I guess not. Did you vote for the design of the Capitol building or the highways in America? I guess not. What the hell do you participate? What an illusion. And there it is out there all the time, and you think that you participate in selection of politicians. You don't. They're picked for you. If you had a democracy, you'd have 4,000 political parties, and they would disagree and argue with each other. And if you had a democracy, you'd have religion on the air, all religions on Sunday. Then you'd have atheists and agnostics giving their point of view. That's a democracy. But when you've got generals on the major broadcasting stations, and admirals of the Navy, and vested interests pitching their pitch for more armament, it's your money that goes into armament. And when you bomb other cities, no matter where they're at, you're building hatred, purulent hatred for the future. And then there's another group of people that think they're smart. They're against abortion. You imagine they'd be against war, because they're killing thousands of people, bombing children, everybody, unborn children, mothers. So what's the matter with these people? Well, I tell you what's the matter. They are cerebral insufficients. They don't have enough stuff up here to put anything together. They even created gods. They used to have many gods in the old days. Then they downsized and finally come down to one God. Now the Jewish God says, if a man takes your son's eye out, you take his son's eye out. The Christian God says, when a man punches you, turn the other cheek. All these gods are different. So when the guy says, do you believe in God? Which one? Einstein said to me. When I asked him, do you believe in God? He says, which one? There's so many different concepts of God. So many different concepts of right and wrong, good and bad. Now I'll tell you a little bit about right and wrong. And if you're black, listen to me carefully. If you're brought up in the Deep South as a white man, and it's an uneducated region, you will speak with a Southern accent. And you'd say things like, I'm gonna get me a nigger, I'm gonna kick his ass in. Where do you think that comes from? That comes from an environment. That's not that the person is mentally ill. There's nothing wrong with a Southerner or a member of the Ku Klux Klan. That's the environment he was brought up in. And the psychologists today and psychiatrists are so stupid that they deal with the individual. It's really the environment that makes them that way. If you don't understand me, if you were brought up as a little baby, or by the headhunters of the Amazon, let's say you, and if I said to you, doesn't it bother you to have 10 shrunken heads? You might say, yes, my brother has 20. So he would be perfectly well adjusted where he's coming from. There are no good or bad people. There are people brought up in different environments which they believe in. If you're brought up in Nazi Germany as a baby, all you see is Heil Hitler, Deutschland über alles, meaning Germany above all. You're a Nazi if you never see anything. If you still don't understand me, if you take a nice Jewish boy and bring him up in Nazi family, very young, he's a Nazi. You take a Nazi baby, bring him up by a Jewish family, he's a nice Jewish boy. So really, what are people? People cannot think or reason. Let me back that up now. so you don't get mad at me. It's very easy to get mad at what I'm saying. The reason we can't think is because we're brought up in a fixed culture with fixed values. When you're very young, they start pumping crap into your head. Who loves you more than anybody in the world? And the baby says, I don't know, your mommy and daddy. What's the greatest country in the world? I don't know, the good old USA. Of course the good old USA. And if you brought up in Saudi Arabia, you brought up in Dubai, you brought up in Germany, same pitch, okay? The only real answer is to declare the earth as the common heritage of all the world's people, and all the resources shared by all the world's people. If you still don't understand that, what we spent in World War II, what we, the Germans, the French, the British, all the money we spent on equipment could have built hospitals all over the world, schools all over the world, wiped out the slums all over the world. How stupid can you be? Now, how many of you ever heard of a book called Mind in the Making by James Harvey Robinson? Not even available in your school library, not one hand. How many of you ever heard of the book called Arms and the Men? It appeared in Fortune magazine explaining the profit system of war. And there was one time even Fortune magazine ran that. And then there's another book called Tyranny of Words by Stuart Chase. How many of you ever heard of that? What happened to these books? There was another book called 100 Million Guinea Pigs. Anybody here ever hear of it? It was a bestseller in America. It attacked the drug industries. They said, why don't the drug industries try to find out about carrot juice or celery juice or natural approaches to disease? Because there's no money in it. You get $3 or $5 for a pill, so why should they? So the public, after that book was a bestseller, demanded that a new agency be provided in Washington called the Pure Food and Drug Administration. Now it's infiltrated by the people of the drug companies. Anybody know that? It's amazing. One person, two person, three person. So you see, we are not a free country. We never have been. We never had a democracy. In a democracy, where freedom people, they always say that people are born equal. They're not. Some are tall, some are short, some are fat, some are not too good eyesight. We are not born equal. But what they're trying to say is all people should be given an equal opportunity. You can't do that if you give a little girl a doll. You're already programming it. If you tie a big bow in a little girl's hair, you're programming it for a certain role. When my little girl was 5, she says, I want an electric train. I don't want a doll. You give a little girl a washing machine, you are programming it. The reason boys are more inventive than women is not because men are different. It's because men are given a wider range. Let me tell you what I mean by that. If you don't know what that means, which you won't get in your school books. When we were little boys, we used to piss together in the field and cut across one another's piss streams. And another kid said, "Did you ever see a kid take a shit?" He said, "No." "Come on, Billy's going to take a shit. Look at what." Here's what they got. The way it came out, this enabled a man to design an extruding machine. You know what that is? A machine that extrudes aluminum. He got it from another kid taking a shit. Now, men, when I was a kid, we used to throw spiders at girls. And you know, the girls would go back like that. Today they collect spiders. But, so you see, if given the same range that men are given, if a man is having an affair with 5 women at the same time, he's called Don Juan. If a girl screws around with 2 guys, she's a tramp. Who wrote the book? The men. So think about it. You're second rate. And so God doesn't hang a picker on a male and say, don't use it until you get married. It would pop out the day you got married.